What's up, man? Just grinding, dude. Sunday afternoon grind, baby. Trying to get some shit done, man.
Let's uh, let's talk about something. What do you want to talk about?
Oh, fuck. I don't know, man. Exhausted, tired, but pushing through regardless.
So who's all in the office right now?
Just me, man. Me and you. That's it. Sunday, it's 3:09 p.m. right now, so I'm almost alone all day long. You know, right? So I come in here. It differentiates on the time of the year. Like when the kids are in school, I work from home a hell of a lot more when they're out of school. Just because I don't feel it's fair to them, dude, to be like, oh, don't play, be quiet. I'm in the office, and even if they're outside in the backyard, microphones, things pick up, there's distractions. So in the summertime, I'm in here quite a bit more. But when they're in school, man, I'm at home, 90+% of the time, and then here in the studio, unless we're shooting actual footage, I'm very rarely in here. But had here's my Sunday to-do list, right? So had just a ton of different stuff to dial on, a ton of different projects we're working on right now. So again, same thing, dude. Kids are at home today, and I didn't want to give them the boot, right? Or have them not have to go out there and have fun. So just in the office, getting caught up and taking advantage of a nice, quiet place, dude, quiet space. So
Loneliness kind of like sucks though, like have you ever are you just inhuman? You never feel that? Like when it sucks, how do you get through it,
Yeah, dude. So and this is something, I spent a lot of time talking about at our most recent in-person Mastery alumni event, but one of the hardest things when you're becoming an entrepreneur is dealing with the loneliness, right? But there gets to be this threshold where it gets great, right? So it's like in the beginning, and this is kind of how we had one of our alumni members that's struggling with this currently, right? And it's something that, again, I think is the most difficult thing. There's so many things that are difficult being an entrepreneur, that come up, but on a personal level, not just like on a business figuring shit out level, but on a personal level, it is that loneliness. It's like, okay, like you were at this level, and you have your circle of people, right? And but most people just stay stagnant. Most people aren't in growth mode, trying to level up. And once you get to that point in your life where you're like, fuck, dude, I just want more. I want to go out there and level up and create more and be more and become more. There is this phase, and it can be for years, dude, of loneliness, because it's like, okay, man, like everybody, my old circles, like, and when I'm saying down here, I'm not talking like a hierarchy that you're better than them, right? I'm just using this as an example. I mean, everybody's got their own path. Just because we might choose a different path as entrepreneurs doesn't mean we're better than other human beings that don't choose that path, right? But you got like your circle of people that you've grown up with, that you've rolled with, that you've been with, that are just doing the same shit, and right, and you're just at a different level than them now, where it's like, hey, man, talking about the party, talking about the game, talking about the same shit that they just continue to talk about over and over and over, no longer intrigue you. You're trying to expand, you're trying to grow, and these people that you're used to rolling with aren't on growth mode, right? So you're trying to grow and expand and become this person way up here, but the people that are way up here are busy motherfuckers, right? And they've got their own world going on, and they may not want to give their time to somebody that's just starting out that journey. So you go through like this gap, right? And it can be years at a time, where I guess it just depends on people's success journey, but it can be years, dude, where you're just alone, man. Like, again, like all the people that you've rolled with, your family, your friends, people that are closest to you until you made this decision, right? They don't really understand you anymore, right? They don't understand your big goals, what you're trying to create. They're not trying to level up. They're just content doing the same shit over and over and over, day in and day out. You don't relate to them anymore because you're tired of that stuff. You want to go out there and level up, but the person that you want to level up and the people that you want to surround yourself with, right, you're maybe not able to get in those inner circles yet. So as you expand, as you grow, as you continue leveling up, it is that path of loneliness, dude, that becomes difficult, right? So, but here's the dope thing about that journey. Number one, it's difficult in the beginning because you're not used to being alone, and most people can't stand being alone, right? But you discover massive, massive power in being alone over time. And again, it's a struggle initially, but to go out there and really be fully fulfilled, like you gotta learn to be truly fulfilled, truly happy in your own skin by yourself. Most people can't stand being alone because it's like they don't fucking like themselves. They got to go around, be around other people, other exciting shit. They don't find themselves exciting. They don't. So as you're going through that journey, if you keep pushing through, number one, like I said, the power comes in the fact that you learn to love being by yourself, right? You learn to really create happiness by yourself in your own skin, which creates a lot of fulfillment with that. But then in the world that we live in today, dude, like today is so epic because you can get lost and find these mentors and people that you want to surround yourself with through books, through podcasts, through YouTube videos. But this is the extreme importance, you guys, of masterminds, of surrounding yourself with the right people, right? And again, in today's world, man, this makes it easier than ever before. It's why I really started, the boot camp and the Mastery Alumni wasn't and isn't just to go out there and give people tactical information that they need to go out there and create success, right? It's about creating groups, creating a culture, creating a tribe of people that are going through the same journey together. And that's why I think that, the boot camp style that we've done, the group style that we've done have been so much more successful than you could ever get through one-on-one. Because not only do you get all the same information that you're going to get on a one-on-one, but you also get, you get all of that, but then you get to surround yourself around a group of other people trying to level up that can relate to the struggles that you're going through in life, whether it's struggles with your family, struggles with your business, whatever the struggle may be that you're experiencing, right? You're around with so many other like-minded people. And that's why I love, dude, not only have we created a culture with these people of sharing on a virtual component so we can all rap on a daily basis, but that's what we started doing in the alumni group, which is once you graduate from the boot camp, you have the opportunity to join the alumni, which is only $50 a month. And just tons of advanced training and continuing access to me and it's kind of my personal ongoing mentorship program. But twice a year, we do these in-person events, 24 hours over 2 days, right? So 2 12-hour days. Several hundred people fly out from all over the United States, all over Canada, and it's just hardcore masterminding, man, and getting to know these people, not just from a virtual component, but in person, and just getting the right people in the room that you want to surround yourself with and developing those deep relationships and becomes extremely powerful.
So when you're growing, you start off you're going to go through lonely times, but you'll eventually not be alone because you'll be surrounded by like-minded growth.
Yeah, it's one of these things where two things happen, right? Number one, as I talked about earlier, you start to love being alone, right? You start to really enjoy it and you start to really value the power of solitude. But then, the second component to that is we've all heard Jim Rohn's famous saying that you're an average of the 5 people that you spend most time with, right? So as you level up, right? People that you wanted to get in those same rooms with now want to be in those same rooms with you. They want a relationship with you. You can bring value to them into their world, so they want to surround themselves with you. So you have, both those components to it, man. So, at this point, I love, now it's just kind of how I'm wired. I'm a hardcore introvert, so I love being alone, and I find a lot of personal power in solitude. But also I have no shortage of great friends and great minds that I can surround myself with anytime that I want, whether it's picking up the phone, jumping on a Zoom call, or flying out and hanging out, or on the local level seeing them. There's definitely no shortage of extremely talented badasses that I want to surround myself with that I'm able to go out there and have access to as much as I want at this point.
Like me.
Yep, like Bobby, Booby the Fifth.
Dude, I've been, that's good, but I've been, keep it rolling, but I've been interviewing the people that are in that BMX video that I'm working on, and one of the question that got Troy to open up really good, or like everybody kind of opens up, but it's a crazy question. It's just, what's the hardest thing you've ever gone through, and how did you overcome it, if you want to play?
Dude, the hardest thing I've ever been through, and that's a difficult question because there's a lot of difficulties in life that happen, but when I break down, overcoming obesity, overcoming bad habits that I've had, whether it's been alcohol or other substances, becoming a father, right? You look at all these different things, overcoming depression. Those were difficult, right? However, dude, the greatest challenge in my life is been becoming a successful entrepreneur. Like, nothing fucking holds a torch to the challenge of becoming a successful entrepreneur, right? because there's so many different components to it. And you always got to be expanding and growing and reinventing yourself and leveling up. I mean, it's one of these things where, like, you can be a really good operator at what you do, like a really good practitioner, but then you just have a job, right? So to become a true entrepreneur, true business owner, right? It's how great can you lead other people? How quickly can you find amazing, talented people? How great can you lead them? How can you set up your system of processes and lead this small army of human beings to go out there and help you accomplish what your vision and goal is, and getting everybody else to buy into your vision, right? So you got all these other people that you're hiring, dude, that exist inside your business world, if you will. That's why they exist, but in your business world to help you achieve what you want to achieve. So you got to get them to become true believers, to buy into what you're creating, to buy into the impact it has, and getting everybody together, to go out there and push and do that, man. It's a fucking challenge, dude.
So it's still going, huh?
Yeah, dude. It's the challenge I face now today is, because I call it boredom, call it whatever, man. I can't stay still, so I'm always starting new businesses. I mean, last year we started, over 3 new businesses. Already started a new business in 2018, and it's just the constant same thing over and over and over, right? Start this new business, right? You got to develop winning systems of processes, a winning marketing plan. Got to go out there and make sure it's profitable. Then you got to hire the right people in place and develop that structure and that culture of each business. I don't know if it's my greatest vice or my greatest virtue that I can't just be focused and stay stagnant on one thing, but I'm always just going out there and creating these new things, right? And then dude, it creates these other components to it. Like, my biggest personal struggle right now is my own personal capacities, right? Which I've learned a lot by in the last year, right? You get to a point where you've achieved enough success, opportunities just keep coming at you and coming at you and coming at you, and they can all be great, right? I mean, of course, there's shitty opportunities that are thrown at you, and you can shake those out pretty quickly. But let's just say you got 100 great opportunities. Well, how do you know what to say no to, what to say yes to? Because you can't say yes to everything, and that's been a challenge of mine, dude. Is I've definitely said yes to too many things, and trying to learn my own personal capacities, what truly matters, and thinking about long-term things, right? Because it's not just how do I make money, right? It's the life that you want to live, the lifestyle that you want to have, the energy that you want the business to eventually bring to you. There's a fulfillment component to business, right? It can't just be about money. We've all seen the people that just go out there and chase money that are miserable. If the business that you're doing and that you're involved in and that you're sacrificing everything to go out there and create doesn't impact others' lives on a big level, right? Like, you're gonna get fucking burnt out, right? I mean, it's gotta, like, when I'm starting a new business, the different things that I'm looking at, or even when I'm assessing, and this is something I'm going through right now, is assessing very, very heavily, and even considering walking away from several businesses that I've created, not because they're not succeeding, right? But I just have limited time, dude, back to that capacity. But it's, it's like, okay, will this opportunity provide me the monetary result that I want it to provide me? Like, will it help me achieve my financial goals? Number 2, is this compatible or congruent with the lifestyle that I want to live? Right? Like, there's a lot of shit I could go out there and do and make lots of money at very, very quickly. But you're trading dollars for hours, and does it help you create the lifestyle that you want to live? Like, I have no beef with jumping into a business, and like, I work as hard as any human being I've ever met. Like, I have no issue working hard, but eventually I want to be able to remove myself from that business and have it be able to be fully delegatable and operate without my involvement, so then I can go out there and live life, right? So is it going to give me the lifestyle that I want to have in the future, and give me the energy that I want to have in the future? Then the other component, dude, is impact. Right? Is this making the impact I want to go out there and make? And if all those three things don't align, then it's got to be a hard no. But yeah, man, I mean, just business growth, dude, is the hardest thing that I've ever done.
That's real. Let's go back to, you mentioned depression. I'm sure there's some people out there that might be watching it that consider themselves depressed. Can you hit me with like 3 practical things to get up out of bed right now and start doing it?
Yeah, dude. So,
like, how'd you get out of depression? Right. Just
Yeah,
three things.
yeah. So, and this is a very controversial topic because people talk about, oh, there's chemical depression, and I get all that. I'm not saying that everybody fits into one bucket when it comes to this, but for most people, dude, the whole it's chemical, it's bullshit, right? For most people, it literally breaks down to just this, dude. And I truly believe, before I get into this, I just want to lay some framework. I truly believe that we are built to expand. We are built to grow and go out there and expand. The second that we don't experience growth and we no longer grow, we start to decay, right? The second we go into decay mode is when the pain shows up in our world, right? And that's what depression is, man. Depression is just freaking pain. It's because you've stopped growth. It's like you're allowing yourself to operate way down here where your full potential is way up here, and you're allowing yourself to be down here, but deep down, internally, consciously, subconsciously, whatever, you're capable of greatness in this up here, but you're allowing yourself to operate and not go out there and grow and expand. And your body, dude, is delivering massive pain to try to get you to wake the fuck up, right? Try to get you to go out there and wake up and go out there and start leveling up and growing and expanding. So depression, dude, for most people, it's this gap. Right? It's this gap of allowing yourself to operate down here when your full potential is up here. And the cool thing is it's not closing the gap. Because, dude, if you think about it and you really break it down, we can never, ever in this lifetime or in our lifetimes achieve our full potential. That's what I love about it, dude. Like if you operate life with the right lens, like there'll never be a time where I can be like, oh, no, I can't be a better father. Oh, nope, I can't be a better entrepreneur. Oh, nope, I can't have a bigger impact on people's lives. Oh, nope, I can't. No, bullshit, right? You can always take it to the next level, right? So it's not closing that gap. It's just starting to operate from a place where you get into growth mode and expansion mode and start leveling up, right? So each and every day, dude, you're just getting a little bit better and a little bit better to go out there and get as close as you possibly can to your full potential. And the cool thing about depression, dude, is you can overcome it in 48 hours. Right? It's not this long-term thing. Now you got to set up these walls, dude.
So step one, ask yourself if you can do more than you're doing.
Step number one is just making the choice. It's not asking yourself, can I do more than I'm doing, right? We already know that we don't want to ask ourselves silly questions that we know the answers to, right? So it's making the decision, making the choice of like, look, dude, I'm being a fucking chump. I know I'm being a chump. I'm allowing myself to operate down here. I'm capable of more. So step number one is just making that mental choice. Step number two is just going out there to grow and expand, dude. Like just going to growth mode, man. Whether that looks like 10 minutes a day of self-development and just learning the skill sets that you need to go out there and start taking action. But, taking action, dude. So really there's two steps to it. That's it, right? The third step, if I have a third step, though, is setting up the walls and the boundaries, because it's not like, oh, I was depressed or experienced massive depression in my early 20s. And boom, I started leveling up and all was good, right? Like success is never like this, right? I mean, it's all over the place and you just keep climbing up the hill. But yeah, I've learned, dude, you got to set up your walls and set up your parameters, dude, because that stuff will continue to show up back in your life, man. I mean, and I think I used to think I was all alone in this. And this comes back to the loneliness is we always think like we're dealing with all the shit just ourselves, nobody else can relate. And it's total BS, right? The more we get around like-minded people, that you realize that, man, we all go through the same problems or somewhat similar scenarios or situations, right? So, but you got to set those boundaries, dude, because that stuff will come back. It will repeat itself, man. I've had little mini blips of depression, and I still do, dude, right? So, but I've got to just, boom, when that pain enters my life, it's having that awareness, doing some deep reflection, and seeing, right, how I can get myself out of that state.
So what do you mean boundaries? Like walls. What do you mean by that?
So all right. The environments you're rolling in, right? Like if you, I don't know, like if you're drinking a bunch, right? Like for me, drinking might make me create fulfillment in the moment, right? But it always leads to more depression, right? So maybe you're allowing yourself to get around too many environments where you're partaking in that activity too much, right? The people that you're hanging around with, man, maybe you have people that are pulling you down instead of leading you up. Like for me at this point in my life, dude, like I don't roll with anybody that isn't inspiring me and feeding me great energy. And it doesn't matter what level they're at. I don't care if you're worth a penny or $100 million. I want to be around people that are looking to level up, that inspire me to level up. I don't want to ever surround myself with people like, oh, dude, you're working too hard, you're pushing too hard, you need to break, you need to chill out, you need to, like, those are the people I don't want in my world, man. I don't want negative people. I don't want people trying to pull me down. And even if they're doing it out of, in their mind, good intentions, those are people I just don't want to surround myself with, right? Or be around. So, I mean, you got to have way, way, way more people that are feeding you energy, that are feeding you inspiration, that are, you know, and not just like motivational people, right? But people that, dude, I mean, they're out there grinding, they're trying to make their dreams become a reality, whatever their dreams may be. I don't care how big or small, but I want to be around people that are personally driving to make their dreams a reality. And maybe they're not, right? So I know I'm kind of contradicting myself here, but I've got some people in my world that are very, very close to me that don't have big goals, that aren't, you know, out there leveling up at the level, but they support what I'm doing, you know, right? They may choose to live a life of mediocrity, but they're like, dude, they become a cheerleader, if you will, right? You're doing amazing, keep pushing, keep, you know, doing those things. So I just refuse to surround myself, whether it's employees, I don't care if it's a client, employees, whoever it is, dude. I just refuse to allow myself to roll with that you know, those vampires, dude. The vampire sucks, man. The energy sucks that exists out there. My peak performance coach, Camille Rose, always says you need more people in your life that feed you than need you. You know, right? So if I have needy people that are just draining my energy, man, again, do that, because that allows me to not be in the growth mode that I need to be fulfilled, being around those too many people, because dude, you become a product of your environment, right? So so I got to make sure to remove myself from those people so I don't stop that growth mode and allow that depression to come back.
So the 3 steps we got: make the choice,
take action, and set boundaries. Yep, create your environment, man.
Let's give them, you know, a specific, what's something that everybody can, like, if they don't know what to do, somebody wants to, okay, I make the choice, but damn it, I don't know what to grow on, I don't know what to learn. Recommend a book, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna recommend a book, but I'm gonna give you something, in my opinion, that's way more powerful, right? So just spend some time in solitude by yourself, alone, and figure out what is it that you want. What the hell do you want? What do you want to go out there and create? Like, what is it that you want? We all have a limited amount of time that exists on this planet. Now, you might be like, oh, well, dude, I got this afterlife I'm going to. That's awesome. I'm not here to, like, talk down or talk about religious beliefs or whatever. Hope for the best, plan for the worst, right? Maybe your religion is like, okay, I got this afterlife. Don't hide behind that, right? Like, hopefully you get there, and that'd be badass, dude. Like, I hope to God there's something after this, but hope for the best, plan for the worst. What if there isn't an afterlife? What if you don't have a second chance? What if this is the only shot you have? What is it that you want to do? What is it that you want to create? How do you want to go out there and operate in this world? And maybe you don't know what it is that you want. Like, when I started my success journey, I had no fucking clue what it was that I wanted. So I made a list of the things that I didn't want, that I hated about myself, right? I was morbidly obese, close to 300 pounds, you know, right? So I lost over 100 pounds. I just started working on the things that I didn't like. I was sick and tired of being broke. It was like I had 1 week too much every month. Like, my money would last me for 3 weeks, but that 4th week, man, always put me in this bind. I was so sick and tired of it and being in debt. So, you know, that's when I started getting into sales heavily and going after opportunities that eventually led to entrepreneurship, but that allowed me to increase my earning capacity, right? So whether it's what you want, or if you can't start there, I think we can all make a list of things that we don't want. You know, right? Like, I don't want to have poor health as I operate this life. I don't want to run out of money while I exist on this planet, right? Like, there's certain things that I know I don't want. I don't want a shitty marriage. I don't want a shitty relationship with my kids, right? So whether you start with what you want or what you don't want, everybody can identify those. And then success is so simple, you guys. All success is you solving your own problems. That's all it is, you know, right? So, you know, when it comes to, you know, Bobby said, oh, can you recommend a book? Any book that you read, right? Any podcast you listen to, webinar, coaching program, training, whatever that you do should exist in your world only to solve your problems, right? And if you just go out there and focus on taking actions at solving your own problems, dude, you'll just continue to create massive, massive success. Because the more successful that you get, the reality is, dude, the bigger problems that you have. It's just how it goes, right? And it's one of the struggles of entrepreneurship, but you just continue solving your problems. You continue solving your problems, you're going to freaking kick massive ass in this life.
All right, dude. Thanks, man. That'll do it. Now, bye.
Peace.